Good morning to all. In this class, we are going to look at Gordon Allport's and Cattel's trait theory of personality. Now, when we describe a fellow human being, we often use descriptive terms like confidence, outgoing, etc. And what we are referring to here are called traits. Okay. So a trait is essentially a characteristic that can be used to describe a person. Now, according to Allport's personality traits are the basic units on which our personalities are structured. A combination of traits and the interaction between these various traits constitutes a personality, and because every combination is unique, every personality is unique too. Also, in Allport's opinion, psychoanalysis, which is surrounded by Sigmund Freud, delves too deeply into the past and the unconscious mind, whereas behavioralism doesn't delve deep enough. So, although he never actually denied the influence of past experiences, his theory, in his opinion, emphasized the relevance of the unconscious mind and the present circumstances. So he didn't disagree completely with the likes of Freud in the fact he was actually quite influenced by Freud. He also met him in a person, but he took a direction which emphasized the relevance of the present circumstances and the conscious mind rather than the unconscious mind, and therefore proposed the theory of traits that we are going to took in the Allport's theory of personality. According to Allport, personality is the dynamic organization within the individual of those psychological systems that determine his characteristics and thoughts. What is a trait? Trait is a neuropsychic system that exists but is invisible. It is located in certain parts of the nervous system. This similar stimuli arouse trait within the person. For example, a college man's shyness is around when he is in a social gathering. He tries to avoid these gatherings and run away from these gatherings. Now, what are the types of traits identified? Now, for his study, Allports actually went through an English dictionary and realized that there are over 4,000 words which describes different human traits, and then he categorized this into three levels of traits, three types of traits, which are cardinal traits at the highest level, central traits, and then secondary traits at the lowest level. Now let's look at each traits type in detail. Now, cardinal traits. Cardinal traits are traits which are so dominant that they can actually be used to define a person. Now, these are rare and cannot be found in many people. So, what do you actually mean by this now? When a cardinal trait is found in a person, one or two of these traits can actually be used to define entire personalities of such people. So, a couple of traits can actually be used if they are cardinal traits. A couple of traits could actually be used to describe entire personalities. So, when present, such traits will actually shape the person, their emotional composition, and their behaviors. Okay, now for example, if we look at Mother Teresa, a trait that or a couple of traits that she strongly associated with her goodness and kindness. And if we speak about Adolf Hitler, a dictatorship can be a trait, and truthlessness can actually be a trait that can be used to describe that personality completely. So that's we actually mean by cardinal traits. Central traits. Now, central traits are fundamental traits that actually form the basic foundations of personality. They are important, but they are not as dominant as cardinal traits. Now, according to Allports, every person contains 5 to 10 such traits, and these are actually present in people in varying magnitudes, and therefore their personalities are all different to one another. Their personalities are therefore unique. Examples are self-confidence, shyness, honesty, etc. So 5 or 10 of these type of traits can actually be used to describe a person, and they are present in different people at different magnitudes. Secondary traits. Now, secondary traits can actually relate to attitudes or preference. They are often seen in certain situations and are not on display at all times. Now, examples include some people getting really anxious when they are in queues. You know, they cannot wait to actually get over that situation. There is a general fact a lot of people face while speaking in public, or people who are normally highly assertive can display submissive personalities before in the law. Or when they are actually encountered by the police or when they are vulnerable in general. So as we see, secondary traits can actually be very situational. They cannot, they can, therefore also be very difficult to detect as they are only stimulated by certain specific triggers. Now, these are the types of traits identified by the Allports, and these constitutes of trait theory. So, traits are essential building blocks of personalities. A combination of varied traits actually constitute a personality as per Gordon Allports. Next, we have discussed about Cattell's theory of personality. Okay, so who was Cattleman behind this theory? Raymond Bernard Cattell is his full name. He was born in the year 1905 and died 1998. He was British and American psychologist, known for his psychometric research into intrapersonal psychological structure. He was educated in Britain and was awarded PhD in 1929 from the University of London. Raymond Cattell, he had made many contributions in the field of psychology, but he is most renowned for his theory of personality and the discovery of 16 underlying traits. Now, let us look into Cattell's theory of personality. Cattell, unlike his predecessor, he used a statistical approach to study personality rather than the using observational and qualitative data. He applied factor analysis to personality and then categorized data into three parts. We will look further into the three data types, but first let us see what is factor analysis. Factor analysis, it is a technique that is used to reduce a large number of variables into fewer number of factors by identifying common characteristics within the data. This technique extracts maximum common variance from all variables and put them together into common score. Alright, now let us see the three data types that we are used by Cattell to identifying source traits. The first we have is life data or L data. Life data are informations about an individual's everyday behaviors and their behavioral patterns. These include things such as the grades received in school, their marital status, social interactions, etc. The second we have is experimental data or T data. Experimental data are the recorded reactions to standardized experiments in a lab setting. It is designed to list response of study participants to certain situations. Coming to the third data type, we have is questionnaire data or Q data. Questionnaire data are response to questions about the participants' behavior and their feelings. This data was introspection based, therefore it provides a deeper look into the person's personality. That is not always clear through behavioral data. Okay, now let us look into the 16 sources traits that Cattell have identified before that Gordon Allport, who was one of the first modern trait theorists, identified 4,500 traits, of which Cattell took the least and removed all the synonyms, reducing the number down to 171. Then here Cattell applied factory analysis to the list of words and eventually it led him to identify 16 individual source traits that are central to this personality theory. Cattell's 16 personality traits are warm, abstract thinker, emotionally stable, dominant, enthusiastic, conscientious, bold, tender-minded, suspicious, imaginative, shrewd, apprehensive, experimenting, self-sufficient, controlled, and tense. Cattell's divide four types of traits. So, what are the surface traits? From the name itself, surface traits or central traits are the visible qualities of personality, whereas source traits are the fundamental underlying traits which exist at the deeper level of the personality and are the cause of behavior. We have come to the last two traits, common traits and unique traits. So, what are common traits? Common traits are the one that is shared in varying degrees by members of the same culture. For example, self-esteem, intelligence and introversion. And unique traits are those that are shared by few or no other people. Unique traits are specially observed in the areas of interest and attitudes. So that is it for the brief presentation of personality theories by Allport and Cattel. Thank you.